All right, trying it again. I need a thumbs up if you can hear me, or thumbs down, or just tell me in the chat whether or not you can hear me or not. Because I'm not going to go through this entire thing if nobody can hear me, because there's absolutely no point. Yes, can you hear me? Yes, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me? Pauline Dix says, hey, but Pauline, can you hear me? Yes or no? I'm testing out new stuff, new equipment, new software. Yes. You hear me? Jessica Merritt, yes, we can. Perfect. All right, cool. Yeah, I titled this, Are You Getting Sued Again? Yet again in the Crooked Family Courts. Here's how I can help. I made a, I'll turn this up just a hair. I was trying to make like a pre-made video to put it up, but I decided screw it because I'm still waiting on my green screen. It's going to be here next week. And there's a software program that I haven't, it's a long story. It's not available at the moment. So I've made a prepared statement, and this was what I was going to make, but I'll just do this live, and anybody who this might apply to can email me. My email is in the description. Make sure you put interview request or request interview in your subject line when you email me, so I'll know what it is, because I get just too many emails and I don't read them all. But here's what I was going to say in that video that I'm going to say here instead. Are you getting sued again in the Crooked Family Courts and need a lawyer, but haven't a clue what to do, who to choose, and on top of everything else, you're broke because the courts have already made it impossible for you to simply be a good parent? Well, you're not alone. My name is Caleb Leverett, and I can say without a doubt, I have been in your shoes, and I know exactly how you feel. Your ex and seemingly the entire system is coming down on you like a ton of bricks. Yet again, you've made mistakes, but ultimately all you want to do is be involved with your own children's lives. For over a decade, I've fought these people, and I've learned a lot in the process. I've learned what to do and what not to do, and I want to help you be able to be the best parent you can be, because your kids won't be little for very long. In the past, I've talked to thousands of people over the last decade plus, giving my best advice and to my best of my ability, but I've also learned that I have to pace myself, and I can no longer get personally involved one-on-one with people. I just can't do it. That sounds like an asshole thing for me to say, and I'm not trying to be. I have to pace myself. I know what my limits are. I still have this overwhelming desire, because the Parker movie just won't go away. It never will. And well, I assume since people every year are turning 14 years old being put through the same bullshit. However, let me just finish this. I understand that it feels good to talk to someone who's been there and done that, but unfortunately, what you really need is a good family court lawyer, unless you're smart enough and brave enough to go at it pro se, of which, of course, I never was. People who come to me for help are always as broke as I found myself back in the day. I don't have the money to pay for They don't have the money to pay for my time to find out how I would handle things. But fortunately for you, you can find out what I did by simply watching my channel, as millions of people have. A lot of towards the end, when I was still talking to people one-on-one, and sometimes these would be repeating things that, like, they'd have my number. I would have to repeat. I started sounding to myself like a broken record. I would say the same things over and over. And I finally just put a bunch of these, what did I do in my scenario that you can apply to you in your scenario. I put a bunch of those on my channel so that people can watch them. Now that I've got this little tiny house and I'm getting set up, the green screen coming, I've got Zoom installed. I'm going to be upgrading Zoom. I've seen Zoom obviously like everybody else, but I've never until just recently have got it. Yeah, they don't have the money to pay me for my time to find out how I would handle things before it's review. You can find out what I did by simply watching my channel, as millions of people have. Okay. There are good, caring people in the world who want to help. There really are. Kristen, Megan, and others organized GoFundMe's. There's several other formats, but whatever the equivalent of your GoFundMe, there were people that organized that for me. And I had perfect strangers the only way they even knew about me was simply because I took it to the next level and just raised mortal hell about what was happening to my family. And fortunately, in 2017, whenever I won primary custody of Blaine, my lawyer's bill was completely funded. And it's a good thing, too, because I was broke. I had a job. I was a subcontractor, and I was able to make really good money while the getting was good. But when you take off work and driving 5 hours one way to go save your son again, you can't make any money. And here is what I can offer. But many times, there are good and caring people in the world who want to help, but many times don't know how to help or who actually needs the help, because let's face it, the world is full of con artists. I am creating a market solution using my channel to bring together two types of people: parents whose biggest problem is they're broke and they need a lawyer, and people who say they want to help and actually have money. Contact me about setting up a personal interview between you and me. You'll get to tell your story, and I'll give you my best advice, and we will let the audience decide for themselves who they want to donate their money to. Your preferred fundraising link will be put in the description of your interview on my channel and other various social media. It will be broadcast on my channel, where you'll be able to tell your story and pass the link on to whomever you choose. No one knows your story better than you do. Okay, I'm going to pause right there for myself. Another thing that I've noticed that people want to do is when they do want to talk to me, I get it. You want to talk to someone one-on-one, and it just feels good to get things off your chest. Sometimes I wished I would have gone into therapy and had a degree in how to deal with this, and I've talked to a lot of people, but I just physically cannot take on how much fucking evil is out there. It breaks my heart. And like I said, as good as that feels to get that off your chest, to talk to someone who really has gone through it, if you'll tell your story, I can't tell your story for you. And that's another thing I've got a million of. Hey, Caleb, can you mention my story? Can you mention my story? If you don't have the balls to talk about your own story, then if you can't help yourself, then I certainly can't help you. I mean, I can only do so much. If you want your story out there, I'm inviting anyone free of charge to reach out to me, set up an interview. And once I get all my technical stuff worked out a little bit better, and I'm really close, I'm real close, I will take my time. I will take an hour out of my day to sit down and interview and let you tell your story. And that way it'll be out there. If anybody has questions, you can say, hey, here's the link. I've talked all about it. I'm open. I'm willing to talk about it. And I do get that a lot of lawyers will tell you, stay offline, don't talk about things. And just about every lawyer in the country is going to tell you that, because it's just outside influence that they don't necessarily want to have to deal with. But if you just keep everything to yourself and you don't talk to a shrink about or a trusted friend or family member, you could possibly really easily go insane. If nobody knows you're getting sued, if your kids have been ripped away from you and you're broke and you haven't let anybody know, nobody knows they can help you. They may not even realize you need help. And you've got to realize it's okay, given the circumstances, to publicly admit. I think it's healthy to get out there and say, I'm busting my ass. I've done everything I know to do. I just need some help. Lawyers are freaking expensive and everybody knows it. And this is how I can potentially, hopefully, help you. I hope to get my channel to the point where it's a podcast interviewing just regular people, because when people come to me and they're in my area of expertise, what I'm really good at, which is surviving the family court, when they've reached the point in their lives that their lives are so fucked up and shitty because their kids have been ripped away, that they're actually coming to me, that means they're broke. They're really beyond broke. They've got the electric man, the cable man coming up saying, I'm about to cut it. When they're reaching out to me, they're that broke. If you're that broke, you need help. And me just, giving out, here's so-and-so up in Montana, he could use some help, and here's a link. Nobody's going to do that. And I don't expect anybody to. I wouldn't donate to it. When I follow stories in the past, I especially if I'm going to give what I would consider a lot of money, like to some people, $1,000 is nothing. To me, that's a hell of a lot of money. To most people in my position, $1,000 donation, somebody's a lot of money. But if I was on the giving end of that, and I was going to give $1,000, I wouldn't just flippantly give it to so-and-so, a pretty face. So-and-so, he said so it must. Don't trust just me. That's the reason I want to have these broke people, because as broke as you are, almost everybody has a cell phone. Almost everybody, or can at least get access to a cell phone and give an interview. You know your story better than me. You know your kids better than me. And if you don't know your kids, I guess there's a situation where if they were born and you didn't even know about that, I guess that would be a situation where, okay, anyone would understand why you don't know them, because you didn't even know they were born. But I'm talking about like people in my case, my kids were basically 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, or 2, 2, 4, 6 when I divorced. I had them every other weekend, that whole thing. But I knew them. They knew me. And I knew that all I needed was regular contact. If you've had regular contact and suddenly your child is ripped away from their good mother or from their good father, you know your story. And people who enjoy giving money, if they know it's going to go to something good or somebody that they believe in, they're not going to be convinced, and they shouldn't be convinced just from my word. They need to hear it from you. They need to hear it come out of your voice. Because think of it like that's the reason we have courts. Now, I know it's modern courts, family courts have been bastardized into what we have today, but the whole purpose of the court is to see, is this motherfucker lying or is this person telling the truth? If you get on here, we just have a talk. We just have an interview. And basically all I'm going to ask you, I don't want you show, their faces necessarily, unless you want to send pictures or whatnot. It won't be a live interview. It'll be something that we do offline. Well, I mean, not live as in live on it. It'll be an interview, over the internet interview, but it won't be live. I'll record it. And if you want to send pictures of you and your child or you and your children and things y'all have done, that you got to be careful, because there are a bunch of fucking sickos out there that obviously take advantage of children being online. I get that. I really do. At the same time, you would show that evidence into a court. Any good lawyer is going to say, give me all the pictures you've got of you and your kids doing various activities. That's the reason I had so many pictures and video of me and my kids at the time, because anyone can just say, hey, I want my kids, and they know me, and they're like, I proved it. But anyway, where was I? Oh, on the interview, it's just going to be a pre-recorded. And if you have pictures of you and your kid that you want in there, I'll edit that and add, pictures of y'all. But the audience, the potential people who could possibly help you as far as donating to your cause, they need to look you in the eye. They need to see, is this person for real? Is this person do they really want their kid, or do they just want to get out of child support, which was what a lot of people accuse me? Do they really want their kid, or do they just want it to appear that they really want their kid? When you're beat down and broke and your livelihood has been just shattered because your kids are gone and you're worrying and you're probably drinking yourself to sleep every night. Hello. You need to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. But again, you have to be the one to tell your story. You have to be the one to get on here and say, hey, Caleb, here's my story. Here's where my daughter, here's my son. Here's the history we've got. And you may only need 5 minutes. Probably need a little more than 5 minutes, but you may only need 15, 20 minutes. Maybe it goes an hour. I don't know. I don't really know how this is going to morph, how it's going to turn out. But what I'd like to see is just me regularly interviewing just everyday regular people, just like me, just like I was before the Parker movie went viral. Just normal, regular, everyday good people that just need some help. Those are the people I want to talk to. It helps other people in your position. It will help you, again, if you've got thousands, possibly tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people, potential viewers that think, you know what? I like this girl. I like what she has to say. She seems like a good mom because, she wouldn't know to say this or that if she was just bullshitting. Or I like this dad. You can tell, people will judge you, and that's just life. People judge you whether you like it or not. People judge you every single day of your life. That's not something I'm saying to be mean, but they will judge you. They are going to judge you. When you wake up, everyone, as soon as you show your face, people are judging. They may not say anything because, it's none of most people that see you, it's none of their business, but they do judge you. And if they're going, and in their defense, if they're going to potentially give you money, they need to know, they would like to know, I would like to know, if I was the one giving it, if this is something that is worth their time, worth their money. So, did I even finish this? Oh yeah. I'm going to finish this last part. I'm not going to stay on here too much longer. And I won't charge a dime. Oh yeah, that's the part. I'm not going to charge you anything because I'm going to get the benefit of YouTube and or any other social media. This goes on Rumble, Odyssey, wherever. I'm working on those as well. Ad revenue. That's how I'll get paid and compensated. I want nothing to do with the money side of your family court problems. After all, people who come to me for help are always broke anyways, and this is the best I can do to help as many people as possible. Far too often, lawyers are the biggest problem, but there are actual good lawyers who become family court lawyers because they actually do care and they actually do want to make a difference. If you are one of those lawyers and you would like to be premiered here, it's usually people right out of law school that may not have a big practice or part of a big practice. I know you good lawyers are out there. You're really hard to find, but I know you're out there. If you are one of those, contact me and set up an interview so that you can tell the world who you are and the services you offer in the areas in which you practice. And we will let, again, the viewers decide whether or not you are honest, trustworthy, competent, and worthy of their time. Divorce is gut wrenching, and I don't have all the solutions, but until 50-50 equal shared parenting is the norm and Title 4D is abolished in its entirety, this is the best way that I know how that I can give back to those who helped me along my journey all those years ago. So this is what I'm offering my channel for. I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I've always enjoyed helping people ever since I was little. but times have changed. I'm getting older. My kids are grown. I don't have to deal with some of the bullshit that I used to have to deal with. And so now this is how I choose to move on my channel. I know what so many people want to know. How's Parker? How are the kids? I get it. I know you want to know. And I've said it till I'm blue in the face. The kids are fine. The kids are grown. The kids are in no threat of the family court screwing them over. And if or when any of my cheer-ins ever want to talk about how things are now versus or how things were then, they can. They know my number. They can get on this channel if they want to. They can make their own channel if they want to. If you can't find them on social media, it's because they're grown-ups and they have private lives and they don't want to talk about it anymore. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that's just how it is. And the best I can do with my channel, given I've put myself out there, I've taken a shitload of criticism from the people who hate me. This is what I can offer. I can offer to help people who were in my shoes 10, 12, 15 years ago when I got divorced and got sued and sued again and then sued again and probably again and again. I think I was sued, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times. It was a bunch. I kept getting sued over and over. And if you think that comes cheap, it doesn't. Family courts don't go by constitutional law. If you go to, according to the United States Constitution, if you can't afford a lawyer, how does the saying go? One will be appointed for you. Nope. That's not how it works in family court. If you can't afford a lawyer, you get to do what they call pro se, and you get to represent yourself. And in some cases, people have been successful. Really smart people that are way smarter than me and got much bigger cojones than I've got. They've tried that and they've done well. A lot of times people don't do well. I admire people who at least try that because they're so broke. But if you can't afford a lawyer in family court, one will not be appointed for you. You're not guaranteed a lawyer. You're guaranteed damn near almost without fail. You are guaranteed guilty of whatever they say. Whoever's suing you, ex-husband, ex-wife, the way family court works, the way it's set up in family court, by default, almost every time you are determined guilty until you prove your innocence. And people that might have never heard this will be going, whoa, what's he talking about? How could that possibly be? That's not true. That's not how the justice system works. Yeah, it is. And the reason they justify it is it's cheer-ins involved. Oh, well, he abused my cheer-ins. He sexually assaulted my cheer-ins. They present that to a judge. The judge almost always, it's for the best interest of the children not to be someone accused of sexual molestation. Boom, restraining order. Boom, and they tag a restraining order. Guess what? Dad can't go see the kids. Dad has to go hire a lawyer. Even if dad's broke, it doesn't matter. If dad wants to see his kids, he's not guilty of anything whatsoever. He's not going to get to see his kids. So in the time it takes dad to get served and then go find a lawyer, get on the docket, and actually go see a judge, who knows how much time can go by. It's usually at least a few weeks, more than likely a few months. And in rare cases, more times than they'd like to admit, years. Those kids can change a lot in a month. When they're that age, when they're 5, when they're 10 years old, a few months can be, they can grow 2 inches. A lot changes. So, I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, y'all get what I'm talking about. It doesn't work in family court the way it works in constitutional criminal court, where you are presumed innocent. Of course, hell, even now, even if you are presumed innocent, some people, unfortunately, when they get arrested, if they can't afford the bail because the accusation is murder or something, even if the bail's only like $5,000, some people can't afford $5,000. And sometimes the courts are backed up a year. And if they are completely innocent. Guess who sits in jail for a year? Even if they're completely innocent, they might as well be, they are literally, physically, and in practice presumed guilty until proven innocent. And it's the same. That's how family court works. Restraining orders get issued all the time. I had restraining orders issued against me. It's not fun. To be accused of those things is not fun at all. Then you got to shut your whole fucking world down. And then you got to go hire a family court attorney. Well, unless your buddy, your best friend's mom just happens to be one, most people just don't know a good family court attorney if it hasn't ever affected them personally. And it takes time to find one. By the time I found my last attorney, I'd been sued, like I said, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times. You'd think I would have known some good ones. I knew which ones I didn't want representing me, but I didn't know anybody. I didn't know who to call, and it took time. Well, the kids don't stop growing. The kids still, and your child support is still due. Child support. I've got a whole ass load of videos if you want to go check out my opinions on child support, cheering support. But anyways, I'm not going to stay long. I've probably gone, I've gone a lot longer than I thought I would. The link is in the description of here. It's just my email, crankmycat@gmail.com. If you would like to give your story, if you're broke and being sued yet again, and you have to go find a lawyer, you need eyes on your story, and you're willing to just, do a little bit of the legwork, contact me and we'll get you an interview on here, and you can just tell everybody what your relationship with your cheerings are, and your ex suing you, or possibly it's, a third party like, CPS coming after you. When CPS comes after you, it's not fun. I've dealt with those assholes too. They're incompetent, but they're very, very powerful, and judges listen to them. Sometimes there are good people within CPS. I've never met any, not one competent one, but I do know of stories where there are people that actually care in there too. I've not had an experience with it, but they've got the judge's ear. And the judge lists them, and when one of them comes after you and they don't like you, some people swear up and down the guardian ad litem's are the way to go. And again, on occasion, the guardian ad litem actually does give a crap about the kid. Personally, I don't know. And I've seen horror stories, absolute horror stories with the guardian ad litem. And if the guardian ad litem figures out that they don't like you, or if they've been paid off, whether directly or indirectly, your cheerings get stolen from you. And that's just tough shit. Doesn't matter if it's never convenient. In fact, it's usually, I would say, probably the worst possible time. Most people are living paycheck, or a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck anyway. They sure as hell don't have thousands of dollars to go find an attorney. And if you're talking about a custody attorney, not just a simple suit, like they're going to require bare minimum 10,000 down, bare minimum 10,000. And that's just for starters. That's just until that'll get you so far. And then after that, if you don't pay up, they won't show up. So anyways, I'm going to cut this short now, or I'm going to turn it off now. We're pushing almost 30 minutes. Thanks for tuning in. And again, if you're watching this, maybe you're just watching for the drama, but you almost certainly know somebody who's being sued or having problems. Just send them this link. Hey, this dude I follow on YouTube, he's offering, hey, Johnny, this dude I follow on YouTube, you're looking for a family court attorney, or you're just how to pay for one or something. If you need, watch this guy, and you can email him, and you can, get on his podcast and just tell your story. And there's good people. Like the first time, I will say this in closing, the very first fundraiser I ever had, this was before I knew Kristen. gosh, I feel so stupid. I've just had a brain fart. Miranda. I hadn't talked to her in a while, and I was having a brain fart. My friend Miranda, she was the one, I believe, organized my very first fundraiser. And I went to San Antonio, and I spent a lot of money because it was a big, big shock to the kids suddenly getting rooted up from Odessa. Like they didn't know anything about it. And boom. If you watch Parker there versus the Man, he left that parking lot. They drove his unhappy ass all the way to San Antonio that very moment. But anyway, that coming weekend was my very first trip. And Miranda, she put together this fundraiser, and we went down there. I spent way too much money. Like my last savings, I spent going to hotels. We got a hotel down at the Riverwalk. And while I had the kids, I took London. She got to be a fairy princess and get carted around by they got these horse carts down in downtown San Antonio. And they've got these boat rides, and I took them on all of that stuff. And we went to eat, and I got a notification. A random person, I believe it was a woman, donated like $2,500, like in one fell swoop. I had no idea who she was. I never found out who she was. But I can only assume that she had watched back then. The only thing that had been released, I don't even think. Yeah, I hadn't even released Parker versus the Man. I didn't release that for another few weeks because, again, like so many of you have told me, the lawyers told me I shouldn't release it. It's too hot, Caleb. You don't want that. Bullshit. A lot of these lawyers, they've got balls in court, but sometimes these lawyers, they're just not ballsy. And it ain't their kid anyway. It's not their ass on the line. If you've got evidence, video that's showing what's happening to you, I'd say my advice, I'd say put it out there. But anyways, I had no way. I had no idea who this lady was. No clue. She didn't ask for anything. She didn't say anything. She just donated. Like, even if I wanted to pay her back or give her a big hug and a big thank you, I wouldn't have a clue, but I can only assume that's somebody who's got just gobs and gobs of money, and donating $2,500 is like you and me, flipping a quarter into the wishing well. They're just, okay, yeah, good luck to you. So if you want your story out there, there are good people out there that don't want to give to the Red Cross because they know that the organizations like the Red Cross, only about, 10, 15, maybe 20% of everything donated actually goes to victims who need it. The rest goes into people in really expensive Brooks Brothers suits, and they call it administration costs. And what they don't call it is CEO bonuses. That's what it really goes to. But there are people who find individuals such as they did me. That woman did me, that $2,500 that she gave me. Those people do exist. And if it was me and I saw someone on talking to this Caleb Leverett guy, oh yeah, I remember him. He had that Parker versus the Man. He's that guy, the kid didn't want to leave his mom or whatever. Yeah. He's talking to other people that are, okay. Yeah. I would think I'll listen to him. I would listen to it. And if you put it on the GoFundMe, GoFundMe takes 5%, 7%, whatever it is. They take a small portion. And again, you can't expect, anybody to work for free. They take a small portion, but I don't want anything to do with the money. I don't want to receive money on somebody else's behalf and give it to somebody else, because me as a middleman, A, it takes up my time. And B, people get real funny about money, really crooked. I just watched a documentary last night called Bad Vegan, and just go watch it if you've not seen it. You see the guys in the middle that were trying to help Sarna, whatever her name is, that really liked her, that didn't want to believe that she'd actually gone off the deep. She just went off the deep, got conned by a severe con artist. Well, the people that had been with her for years, running the show, running a restaurant in New York, they were getting the money and going to deposit it like, Sarna, hello, we got bills to pay. Where are you? They're like doing her job and depositing the money. Well, her new boyfriend or husband, whatever he is, that weirdo, he's on the backside taking the money out. So the employees saw, the middle management guy taking the money and deposit it. Then the money's gone. They're not getting paid. They're like blaming him. He's like, whoa, what the fuck? I was just trying to help, people. What? I didn't steal the money. I deposited it. Here's the receipt. But anyway, I don't want any part of the money side of it. Anybody who wants to give to you, yeah, they can find out about you, your story through my channel, but it'll have your link to your GoFundMe. I'm not sure if we'll do some kind of verification to where, I guess GoFundMe is the only way I know to do it, but every person's interview, the GoFundMe link will be different. It'll be just for them. However you promote it on your end, however you want to verify who you are on your end, that's up to you. So anyways, it's hot outside, and Blaine's reminded me we're going to the grocery store and to the gym. Oh wait, no, we're off. Today's our day off. So anyway, y'all take care. Spread this around to anybody you might know who would want this service. We follow you because you're a survivor of family court. Fat Cat NWO. Well, thanks. And Tammy, I will listen 1,000,000 times if it helps just one person. Tammy, you've always just been so wonderful. Tammy and I have known each other, not just here, but on back. Oh my God. Oh, I need to get off. I had to don't even get me started on Facebook. I had to turn it back on because they wouldn't let me access my messenger without it. So I haven't logged in. I mean, I've logged in, but I haven't gotten on. I'm still boycotting Facebook. But anyway, y'all take care, and I'll see y'all here in a day or 2 or 3.